Hi everyone, if you enjoy what I do, then I think you'd enjoy my short collection of short stories, available now on Amazon. Please make sure to subscribe and consider becoming a Patreon. Enjoy the video! Amongst the stillness of a fallen kingdom, one still stalks the decaying ruins, protecting the once great land from those who may threaten its remnants. Her task is far greater than the interlopers and marauders would know, however, for she alone stands in opposition to a curse that would consume the world. But her purpose may be greater still than even she comprehends, for within the black prison a restless evil stirs, and she may be the only one who could seal it away once again. By the lizards long ago, however, the terrain can be extremely dangerous. Right, time to die. In the final days of Hallownest, the Pale King searched for a solution to the spreading infection that threatened to devastate its kingdom, an infection he himself had wrought when he had replaced the Great Radiance as a figure of worship in the eyes of the moths. When even the king's strongest and most loyal warriors failed to find a way to defeat this new foe, his only recourse was to attempt to imprison its source, seal away the radiance and her corrupted influence forevermore. What could imprison such a power though? He considered that a mind resolute enough could capture her essence in dream, but the infection was capable of breaking minds, feeding from emotions and attachments, the root of consciousness itself. Even his own considerable psyche would struggle to contain her. The answer though lay in an entity with no such attachments, a being made up of the manifestation of pure nothing, an entity of void. Consorting with his wife, the White Lady, a higher being comparable if not exceeding his own considerable power, the Pale King fathered child after child, each of which was given to the abyss far below Hallownest, in the hope that their shells would be infused with the essence of void. Each was a failure, however, deemed incapable of holding the radiance at bay, but still the Pale King persisted, forcing the White Lady to birth hundreds, potentially thousands of young, until one showed promise. The Pale King retrieved the single offspring from the abyss himself, and despite knowing its purpose, grew an affection for the child, raising it as he would any other heir. Unseen or maybe even ignored by the king, the child, despite having no voice or agency of its own, came to reciprocate the feelings, forming a bond with the king, a bond that would come to doom all of Hallownest. Regardless, the Pale King forged on with his plans, intending to capture the radiance within his pure offspring and imprison them within a void-infused structure known as the Black Egg. The power of the radiance was so great, however, that even this would not suffice, and the egg would need to be sealed by yet another means. The Pale King sought out 3 powerful minds to enter in eternal sleep and watch over the Black Egg, ensuring its seal never broke. For their own reasons, each agreed to the king's request and did what was required of them. Lurian, the most loyal of the sleepers, readily did as he was asked, out of service to his beloved monarch. Monoman, a logical mind, seemed to agree for a time, but came to believe that rather than enduring in a perpetual stagnation, the seal should one day be broken to allow a change in the world, and tasked her apprentice with ensuring this would occur when the time was right. Finally there was Heir, the beast of Deepnest, queen of the spiders, who shunned the Pale King's rule. Having no heir of her own, she agreed to the king's proposition, on the condition that he bore her a child, one to continue her lineage. The king agreed, and together they sired a being that was part spider, part worm, the child Hornet. Spending precious little time with her mother before she must complete her side of the king's bargain, Hornet would witness the inevitable fall of Hallownest, as the king's plans amounted to all but nothing, and travelled out into the ruined land in an effort to prevent her mother's sacrifice from being in vain. Could it have been, though, that Heir had seen what was coming, and did not trust that the Pale King would be able to prevent it, having seen that he had grown too close to his child of void? Taking the situation into her own hands the only way she could, Heir demanded a child of her own, not as an heir, but as a sort of insurance, a protector of the Black Egg, and should the situation grow dire enough, a replacement seal, infused with the power of the Pale King, that none would be able to breach. It could be that this came to pass, with Hornet sacrificing herself, just as her mother did, to seal away a new vessel, perpetuating the stagnation Monoman feared so. Or she could go on to assist her sibling, the would-be replacement vessel, in defeating the infection where their father had failed, vindicating Heir's last request, and finally saving Hallownest. From her request to the Pale King, it is easy to think that Heir simply desired a progeny to continue on after her, but given her lack of faith in the Pale King's rule and apparently perceptive nature, it becomes clear that Hornet was always meant for something greater, even if she did not immediately realize it herself. Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked what you saw, then I think you'd like my short collection of short stories. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, sharing it with all your friends, and if you want to support me that bit more, become a Patreon. Links are all down in the description. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you next time.